Yeah, that's my Cora.
And her, when she did it, I just was like, that's
it.
That's the movie. You know, we finished the two movies kind of very close to each other. And then we released one, and then we kind of been holding the second one. And people are like, what happens in the second movie? And you're like, well, right now, it's my favorite movie.
Hello, my name is Natalia.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And we all know that you've been working on this project for quite some time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And how does it feel like to finally be able to show the world your vision?
Yeah, that part feels good. I mean, it's funny because we have been, we finished the two movies kind of very close to each other. And then we released one, and then we kind of been holding the second one. So it's nice to release the second one now because, you know, it's when you have it and people are like, what happens in the second movie? And you're like, well, I have it here. I just have to wait, you know. So it's nice to have it come out. And also because the movies are so, you know, they're so related to each other.
Yeah.
It's one story. So yeah, it's good to have it out.
And do you feel that it's your best work yet? Or you don't like to choose between your babies?
I really don't like to choose between my children. But it really, right now, it's my favorite movie because, you know, we just finished it. So it's
the whole or part one, part two?
The whole, I think. The
Okay.
whole. Yeah.
There's a question I have to ask. How do you feel about all these Star Wars comparisons?
Well, I mean, the only thing I would say is that the obvious Star Wars comparison is from me saying that I was inspired by Star Wars, which is fair. But that I feel like now that the movie, you know, is sort of seen in its totality, I think that you can see that obviously now it's kind of its own thing. Yeah, it really has its own life, you know.
And the main character, Cora, she plays a role that's usually reserved for male characters.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, but usually. Did you know from the get-go that you wanted a female protagonist?
I did, and really the thing about that Sophia's done in this movie that I think is amazing is that she really embodies, because this is a complicated character, you know. She's not clean, you know. It's not just like, oh, this is our hero, obviously. She's, you know,
She's kind of balanced between hero and villain.
a little bit. And she's really trying. I mean, like, you know, she was part of the war machine, you know, and now she's just trying to be better. And, you know, we all have the, you know, I mean, it's really a movie about second chances in a lot of ways because every single character had some thing, you know.
Yeah,
you know, not
some
quite
dark side.
Some dark side, yeah. And so it's, you know, I think in that way, you know, it's much, it's more complicated than maybe your average, you know, the characters themselves, you know, than maybe your average sci-fi movie. But I think that, you know, they all of them have done an amazing job. And really, Sophia's work sort of embodying the complexity of the character, but also getting to like this sort of where the rubber hits the road for her is just there is physical things that have to be done in order to win, and she's like, you know, very physical actor. You know?
I wanted to ask, what was it about Sophia that made you think, yeah, that's my Cora?
She was from the beginning the person I wanted to play her, the role. You know, we had to. We did an audition with a number of actors, but we shot the scene from movie one with her at Hagen, where she says, "I was a child of war." That was the audition we did, and we shot it pretty close to, not exactly like it is in the film, but very close. And when she did it, I just was like, "That's
it.
That's the movie." Like, you know, like so. It was, and then she had to also, on the same day, we taught her on the day a small fight scene that she had to like remember and then do. And, you know, she's just really, her dance background.
She
you
had
know,
it.
with learning choreography and also learning small changes, incredibly, because it's really difficult. It's one thing to learn a fight, but it's another thing to learn it and then have to unlearn some small aspect of it. That's the most difficult
And to
part.
make it feel natural.
Yeah, and go right through it, you know? Because like maybe like, oh, you know what's better? If you block here and then you go like that, that's better than what we talked about before. And then she's like, okay, well, a lot of people are like, well, I can't. It's like, it's programmed. But yeah, she's really great. So yeah, and plus she's just fun to be around.
And Ed Skrein is absolutely amazing as Admiral
Oh.
Noble.
Yeah, he's fun.
It's like he was born to play this role.
Yeah, he's fun.
But I wondered, did you consider any other actors for this role?
Well, I mean, you know, there were some other actors that we considered, but I would say that when I finally, and it was just a difficult part, you know, because it's that fine line, like he has to be completely insane in some ways.
And yet not grotesque.
And yeah, but he also has to be weirdly practical,
Yeah.
you know, because he has this giant ship, he's got a very specific mission, and so he's not so off his mind that he can't finish and that he doesn't want to complete the mission. He really wants to get back to the mother world and get all the glory that he's expecting for capturing Korra or doing whatever he's doing. And so that really has to stay there. But he also, there's moments where his dark sort of pleasure or need is like kind of takes him off his mission a little bit.
It is more personal.
Yeah, it's cool.
And as a director, writer, what do you think is essential to make not good, but a great movie?
I think the most important thing is that you, as a filmmaker, that it sort of embodies your point of view, and that you don't have to second guess your, like, I always find like, for me, the easiest way to make a movie, no matter how weird it is if it tracks with the way your personal aesthetic, the way you construct story in your mind, the way you see story, all those things. If it's really cleanly from the way you do it, then when you make the movie, you don't have to like change. Like when I make a movie, I am very clear with the movie being from my point of view. And so that way I'm never caught out. Like I'm never doing something in the movie that isn't consistent with my way of doing it. And so therefore I don't feel like I'm missing something, right? Because I'm like, no, I need that because that's the way I see it. And so even if it's a weird shot or something strange and maybe the rest of the crew doesn't understand, that piece I know I need. And so I think that if you're making a movie, it's important to like, you know, and look, it's not for everybody, but that's just the way I do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, thank
for the
you.
talk. It's been really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Cheers.
Thank you. Have a
Okay.
good day.
You too. All the best.